Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved Empire. It's great to be in the Empire today. Welcome back to Arnold HoloNet News, the AHN, the only news you're ever gonna need, because you have no other choice. And why would you want any other choices out there? Welcome to today's episode of AHN, where we have the kit reveals for the two brand new ships coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the TIE Echelon and the MG-100 Starfortress. Two brand new ships meant to flesh out a couple of fleets that need to love, the First Order and the Resistance. That seems to be coming via Galactic Chase event. Two tanks, we've been asking us, we need more ships, and the good news is they're being piloted by characters you most likely already have up and running. Before we get into this, I guess we got a little bad news. We're still experiencing communication disruptions with our internet. You know, what's the point of fiber? No, Gary, bring it on. No, I need to scold it publicly, Gary. What's the point of having fiber when I get more fiber in my Wheaties every single day? You click on stream, and as you see right here, we're gonna get the red square of death right down there. So they don't know when it's gonna be fixed. I guess in the meantime, I can at least play this for you, Gary, Larry. Hit it! Citizens of Alderaan, are you tired of playing mobile games that just take your money and give you no content to play? Well, then let me tell you about our planetary sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. And I thought we'd talk about one of the bosses, the Guardian of the Void Keep, Malik Kavar. You gotta watch out for Malik's poison debuffs, which can't be blocked or resisted. So you'll need shield buffs and healing to counteract the damage, or find a cleanser to clean off those debuffs. This month we have a fresh rotation of the brutal Hydra boss and tons of events and tournaments every single day, including some special Valentine's Day events, where you can get your hands on a brand new legendary champion. Use my link down below or scan my QR code and you'll get some really cool bonuses. But be quick, because these rewards are only available for the next 30 days. All right, let's get into it. Hopefully they're going to fix the Kyber power fiber at some point. It's somewhere down super in another area, another planet. Apparently they're having communication disruptions. So in the meantime, we're just going to record our Grand Arena, but at least we can at least keep you up to date on what's going on the holo tables. And you're probably asking two big questions out the get-go. How are these going to be unlocked, and what are the pilots going to be? Well, let's take a little peeky peek, shall we? For some reason, I can't find the intel on the Starfortress for the Resistance. I'm assuming it's going to be the same. But as we see right here, how does it unlock? The TIE Echelon unlocks via Galactic Chase event. I was never a fan of these. I just like marquee events. You're guaranteed to get a 2-3 stars unlocked for free, whereas Galactic Chase events, it's usually tied to how much energy you spend. The more energy you spend, the more shards you're going to end up getting of a character or ship in this circumstance, and I'm guessing there will be packs as well. For some unknown reason, when I try to look up intel on the Starfortress and you look up the word unlock, well, nothing shows up. So I'm guessing they're both going to be Galactic Chase events, but I do not have 100% confirmation on this, but I would find it weird if this was not a Galactic Chase event, or the TIE Echelon was. Second thing I want to point out, the pilots. One thing I hate, that's why I haven't been a big fan of the new TIE Interceptor that we're getting for Second Sister, because it's not a character a lot of people have up and running, and there's really not a need to get her up and running, at least as of now, before we see the full picture. I love ships that are coming to the game that are for pilots that we already have geared up. The Echelon's gonna be piloted by the First Order officer. If you're going for Supreme Leader Coward, even my free-to-play account has this guy at Relic 5, and then the MG-100 Starfortress SF-17 is gonna be piloted by Rose Tico and the Resistance Trooper, that was exactly what I was expecting. Again, characters you have to get as a consequence of going for Galactic Legends. So big fan of that. You know, I used to be a fan of pilotless ships, but seeing how the Executor just doesn't care about pilotless ships, it's kind of nerfing the viability of those ships, and at least we're getting ships that people should have the characters geared up and ready. So let's get into the kit reveal for the TIE Echelon. The Resistance and First Order, they're interesting fleets where they can they're mid-grade fleets for the most part, right? You know, your top tier is Executor, second tier is Negotiator, Malevolence, and right below that is the Holdos, Radis, and the First Order fleet that we have. They've been missing pieces, and we've been asking ways to flesh out the fleets. The only complaint I have right now is just the Galactic Chasers, but it's great seeing that they're adding these units, and the Echelon as well as the Starfortress are meant to be tanks, both fleets have been desperately needing here. But this is an interesting one. If you guys don't recognize it, this is from Galaxy's Edge. We did a little when we were in Florida, the Disney Empire. I actually took a picture just of that the day after. they announced the ships. This is off the Disney's Galaxy's Edge right here, but it's not a taunting tank like you're traditionally aware of. You know, you get the taunt effect. Hey, hit me, guys! I'm right here. Hit me! No, this is this ship is kind of indirectly taunting via stealth mechanic. Quite interesting. Let's take a look at it, shall we? First order officers piloting this ship and first order tank that covers its allies by providing them with stealth. And arguably, you know, the way the ship meta is, it's not a bad way of taunting because there's a lot of ways to ignore taunt with the Razor Crest, for example, the Executor ignoring pilotless ships, for that matter. Staying under stealth, for ship metas, that's actually not a horrible idea. Let's take a look. Basic ability, initiate the hunt. And it's quite a nice basic ability. Deal physical damage the target enemy. And if the enemy is hunted, inflict target lock for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And why do you want target lock on this fleet? Read down with me a little bit more, Jimmy boy. Target lock. Call all other first order allies with advantage to assist. And then they gain advantage again for 1 turn. Advantage, core concept of the first order team, the character team, core concept of the fleet. So if you don't have advantage on your first order ships, man, you know, it's a rough day at the office. So you should be getting lots of assisting, and especially on a basic, it's not bad. And think about it. I know we don't really think too much about it, but Hux is one of his abilities. He can target someone to call to the assist. And I'm assuming if you call this ship to assist on someone that's got target lock, you should get the rest of the crew to assist with them. Modern day problems call for modern day solutions. Let's keep reading forward. I like this here. Just speaking of Galaxy's Edge, they actually named the special ability of the ship the Galaxy's Edge, which I don't know if it's thematic to the ship, but it's at least thematic to where we see it prominently again, which is Galaxy's Edge. Cooldown of 4, only 2 abilities on this ship here. The final text says Echelon gains 30% protection up for 2 turns, and all the first order allies gain half that amount, so 15%. Call all other first order allies to assist, dealing 50% less damage, and they gain stealth for 2 turns. And when everyone's under stealth, that's where the taunt comes up. So again, even though it doesn't have the explicit taunt effect, when everyone's under stealth except one, that one person is under stealth. Think of it like, for example, Maul. Maul hides everyone under stealth except Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest, yeah, she's not taunting, but she's kind of taunting at the same exact time if you think about it. So very simple kit that we have here, but there's gonna be some more ways to interact with stealth here. And I don't know how they keep making this mistake here. Hardware is an old term. It got expired in 2008. I don't know why they still call it hardware. It's the reinforcement ability, Vanguard of the First Order. Final text says, when you enter battle, the TIE Echelon gains 30% protection up for 2 turns. All other first order allies gain stealth for 1 turn. So right now, the best starting lineup for the most part is Special Forces. It sometimes depends. You might do first order TIE Fighter, but most of the time it's Special Forces starting off first. And then you got obviously Cruise TIE Silencer. And then the Kylo Ren Command Shuttle. This seems like it's going to be more of a first reinforcer. That's the biggest problem. The first reinforcer for the first order, it's usually not a good play. But here, you're going to want to bring this guy up because you're going to get all other first order allies in their stealth. And as a result, you're going to be taunting. And then for the rest of the encounter, whenever another first order ally stealth expires, then it gains taunt for 1 turn. So this is why I'm not seeing a clear reason to start this ship off right away. Reinforcing sounds better because you get the stealth, and then it's going to have this auto taunt that happens right afterwards. And the unique ability, the might of the first order. At the start of each first order ally's turn, the Echelon gains 2% defense, 2% max health, and max protection, stacking for each stealth first order ally. When a first order ally lands a critical hit, which again should be quite frequent because you got the advantage going on the team, the TIE Echelon recovers 20% health and protection. Oh, that should be a lot of good sustainability on this ship right here. And if the TIE is the only ally ship and not stealth, and there's at least one other ally stealth, it can't be critically hit. So kind of like a last second emergency situation. Now, I'm guessing this is gonna have stats maybe similar to the TIE Bomber. The TIE Bomber, man, that thing could eat up a lot of hits. I like this ship. I think it blends in well. It's a unique way of taunting. It's leaning into the abilities of getting lots of advantage and critical hits. I like this. I do like it a lot. What are my hopes for this ship? Well, right now, the first order is really meant in the current grand scheme of the game. Yeah, you can beat Rebels with a slight situation. You can beat Negotiator if things go your way. I would like to see this become more than just a cleanup for executors. I would like to see this be more toe-to-toe with Negotiator a little bit more. So we'll have to wait and see if that goes. I don't suspect they want these ships to counter the Executor, but you know what? Even though their intention's not that way, we still somehow find ways to do it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the MG-100 Starfortress SF-17. Big shout out to Holta Gertrude. For the longest time, I know you're out there, Holta. You're always in the Kyber Club chat, always saying, when are they going to add the Resistance Bomber? Well, I personally, this is all 1000% my doing. Gary can confirm it himself. I got this in Galaxy Heroes just for you. You got your own special segment in the video right here. Let's take a look at it. Rostico, Resistance Trooper, Resilient Resistance Tank that can take punishment and debilitate the enemies. Basic Gunners. Can I just say this? This was one of the weirdest ships in Star Wars that I ever feasted my eyes upon, but nonetheless, the Resistance do need some sort of fleet put together. Holda, before the Executive came out, Holda was actually somewhat good at taking out Malevolences. We don't see Malevolence on defense pretty much anymore nowadays, but Resistance did a pretty good job using bounty hunters to take on Malevolence, and it would feel a lot more appropriate to have more of a Resistance fleet fleshed out. So even though the ship always kind of perplexed me, it's great seeing it nonetheless here. Basic Gunners, look alive! Final text, if the Starfortress's turn, deal physical damage twice. Inflict target lock for 2 turns. And if the target enemy has 5 stacks of the sweet spot, you're gonna recover 15% protection. We're gonna get to the sweet spot in a moment here. Let's just keep on reading here. Begin the drop sequence, cooldown of 3. Resistance Trooper tied to the Resistance Trooper, of course. As we already mentioned, Rostico, Resistance Trooper are going to be your pilots here. Deal physical damage and dispel all buffs from target enemy. Nice. Remove 10% per stack of the sweet spot. Inflict evasion down for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. You know, it's weird to say evasion up is really only dodging's only a real problem against the Executor. I don't know if this is meant to be the Executor thing, but anyways, if the target enemy has 5 stacks of the sweet spot, place 3 concussion mines in them, which can't be evaded or resisted. Let's keep moving down a little bit. You know, I can't help it. It looks like a pregnant dragonfly from this angle. Am I the only one seeing this? It looks like a pregnant dragonfly. Anyways, let's just keep moving here. Concussion mines, pretty similar to how the Sith Bomber operates. Concussion mines deal damage equal to 10% of the target's max health and dazes the target for 2 turns when it explodes. Can't be dispelled. Now here we go. Special. Tico's sister Legacy. One thing I'm a bit, let me pay attention to the animation here. I guess there's kind of a bomb. I mean, the only thing that was mildly satisfying, even though again, it was kind of weird seeing the bombs drop. I don't know. You can't really see it there. I wish the animation was a bit clearer. Maybe it's because it's in GIF format. It's a bit blah. But anyways, Tico's sister's Legacy cooldown of 3. Recover 50% health and gain taunt for 2 turns. So finally, we're seeing the taunt attributes kick in here, whereas we saw a lot more of it with the First Order a moment ago. You're going to call all other Resistance allies to assist, which is nice. You are going to take a 50% damage penalty, however. And if the enemy has 5 stacks of the sweet spot, Resistance allies assist with no damage penalty. So you need to get those sweet spots up and running. And you know what? How about we just go and start getting to that aspect here, because the sweet spot's kind of critical for this ship here. We're not seeing it quite yet. Reinforcement, ignore the hardware text. All clear, bring the bombs. When you enter battle, apply 2 stacks of the sweet spot to all enemies. Resistance allies gain tenacity for 2 turns. So we need to wait and see how this ship works. Unlike the First Order TIE Echelon, this is a very clear indicator. This ship should be a reinforcement. Hard to say if this should be a reinforcement, maybe so you can get those sweet spots up and running a bit faster. But anyways, not as robust as the First Order one, but it's got a bit more robust of unique ability. The sweet spot, we're finally here. The unique ability at the start of the battle, if all allies are resistance, the Starfortress is immune to critical hits for 1 turn. And the Starfortress gains taunt for 1 turn if an ally with Deflector Shield receives damage from an enemy. Bada bing, bada boom. There is where the big stuff is right there. That is legitimately the sweet spot of the kit. Deflectors, or the Deflector Shield is a core attribute of the Holdo Radis fleet. Wasn't really as important before, but now we're leaning more into it. So if we're getting critically hit, you're going to have more reactive taunt kind of getting in your way. So we're finally seeing this be a bit more of an important buff for the Resistance fleet. And if the Starfortress loses taunt, it gains taunt for 1 turn if it didn't already have a taunt, and if another Resistance ally has Deflector Shield. So once the taunt starts rolling, it keeps on going. It keeps on coming and it keeps on coming. Yeah, start playing the song, Gary. No, actually don't. That song gets copyrighted the second you play 1 second of it, but you guys know what I mean. And then while the Starfortress has taunt, it has 100% counter chance, and that's why up here in the basic, you can kind of see we're gonna get lots of target locks, ideally, on the target enemy. And keep in mind, if there's 5 stacks of sweet spot on the enemy, you're gonna be recovering protection, hopefully, as well. So, you know, kind of interesting to say the least. We're not done yet. Let's keep on a reading. Whenever the Starfortress gains foresight, the Starfortress dispels it and gains critical hit immunity for 2 turns instead. Foresight, critical component to Radis's fleet to quickly get to the holdo maneuver. Well, instead here, you're going to find ways to get critical hit immunity to survive a bit longer. Now, I don't know. We got to wait and see. I kind of was hoping it could keep Foresight in it, because when you use special abilities and you have Foresight, you reduce the cooldowns faster on the holdo maneuver. We'll have to see. It's still nice to see it. Maybe this is a balancing factor to it all. I don't know if I want the critical immunity. I would rather keep the Foresight to dodge, and then we can find ways to reduce our cooldowns. But anyways, keep on reading. Whenever resistance ally deals damage to an enemy, they apply a stack of the sweet spot, maximum stacks of 5 until the end of the encounter, or until the Starfortress is defeated. And the sweet spot, all it is you get increased effects from abilities that utilize a sweet spot. The best way to put it, it's kind of like target lock by itself does nothing. But, you know, there's certain ships that interact with it, or they get additional effects off it. So it's not, by itself, it does nothing. But you need the certain kits to make sure to interact with it appropriately. So, are these going to be dominating the Executor? We got to wait and see. My expectations are, I like to tame my expectations when it comes to this. I'm not predicting this is going to be toe-to-toe with Executor. Second Sister, we'll have to wait and see if maybe that's a different breed of ship. But seeing a Galactic Chase ship, and keep in mind, yes, these are nice additions to these fleets. By no means does this fill out the entire crew. But at the minimum, I would like to see these fleets be more competitive with at least the tier 2 fleets in the game. Malevolence and Negotiator, that would be nice. Or at the minimum, maybe these might be a bit more formidable on defense in Grand Arena. So maybe you can keep your Negotiator for offense if you feel like the Rebels are kind of running over it too much. It's going to be interesting. It's great seeing we're getting touch-ups on these fleets, because the one thing this game needs, and even though these are great additions, we need a lot more ships in Star Wars Galaxies. But slowly but surely, we're starting off the year with 3 new ships. Let's see where the game's gonna be heading from this point onward. As you guys know, I love passing the ball over to you guys. How you feeling about these ships? How you feel about the pilots, the way we're going to unlock them, or just their general impact on ships? Until then, hopefully the communications disruption cease, so we can get back to our Grand Arena stream, or just even streaming in general. I'm heavy withdrawals! But until then, leave that like, comment down below. Be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing. You're not missing any streams right now. But always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.